Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Average Uninformed. This week we are checking out It Chapter 2, starring Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, and Bill Hader. So grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy. I got that cord back in PS3 was still around.
All right.
I was still bussing the chapters because that's where I got it.
Wait, didn't you get your PS3 at a grocery store? No, that was your PS4.
PS4.
That was a good day.
Oh, you remember how I used my PC points to get that PS4?
Yeah.
I have $1,000 in PC points, so That's going towards the PS5 for sure.
When does that come out?
Oh, I have no idea. This was to tease at this whatever
Looking
event.
at your watch, any minute now, really.
Yeah, it's 4:04 now, so yeah, it should be right.
I hate it when the new generation of consoles comes out, because it's like I buy it and then I get like maybe 7 to 10 games in its lifetime, and then they're like, "Hey, the new one," and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, the game that you really liked from the last one, the sequel is only going to be on the next generation," and you're like, I don't want to spend $500 just to play one game.
Is this how our parents felt when we went from VHS to DVD? I had to buy this $200 piece of crap to play this weird floppy thing.
Yeah.
Not floppy.
I remember my dad, it was like 3 days after Blu-ray won over HD DVD. He was like, Walmart was selling these HD DVD players for like super cheap. It's like, yeah, because it's a dead technology now. He's like, no, it'll be fine. I'll just buy a bunch of HD DVDs. He bought two, and that was it. He never used it.
It makes sense.
Yeah, like it does make sense, but it's also, I just think ahead of like, oh, movies that are going to come out next year will not be on this format. I will only be able to play old movies on this. I will never be able to play new movies on this. There won't be any system updates happening anytime soon. Like,
what was even the draw to HD DVD?
I don't really know. I don't really understand the difference between the two, other than just different companies.
I just remember Blu-ray had more storage, and that was it.
They were dual layer or something like that.
Dual layered.
I don't know. I only had to sell them. I worked at Future Shop right when Blu-ray won.
And then Future Shop went out of business.
I don't know. Anyway, how you doing this week, Victor?
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
It's a change of pace recording on a Saturday.
Yes. It's also a change of pace because you had leg day yesterday.
So
change of pace.
Oh yeah. It takes me 3 minutes. It took me 3 minutes to get up my flights, like the flight of stairs.
Which is like what, four flights? 2 flights.
2 flights.
7 flights?
What's going on? But otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. I gotta go downtown tonight and walk a bunch, so that should be fun for everyone that has to keep up with my pace.
See, I have these lovely genetics that I don't ever have to do leg day. And I have these wonderful, wonderful leg muscles because of it. See, what you should do, Victor, is go back to when you're like 13, 14 and gain a bunch of weight.
Where's this going?
And then your legs will just compensate for that weight and then kind of slim down a little bit. But only a little bit.
Okay, so
otherwise you won't maintain.
So just gain a bunch of weight so that my legs will figure itself out a little bit, just enough to carry the weight.
Yeah.
And then I have to work a whole bunch more to get rid of the other weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's totally worth it. And you don't have to go to leg day ever.
How about you? How you been?
I split my pants on a bouncy castle.
What? You went to a... Okay.
I don't think I need to elaborate on that at all.
What? You can't just tell me that and not elaborate.
It's not exciting at all. I just went to a kid's birthday party. I didn't really know the kid. I just thought I'd crash it. No, they had a bouncy castle. And like one of the times I like jumped into it because there was like a big slide that you go down. So I went down the slide and then I like jumped back into it.
Nice.
And as I did, I just moved my leg in a weird way. It just ripped the whole hole of my pants.
Did the kids see?
Yeah, but...
Did they bully you?
No, they were young enough that they thought nothing of it.
Oh, lucky.
Like I would be like, hey, look, I split my pants. I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I poop myself every day. Like,
that's a weird flex.
And then so my wife went out and got me some new shorts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's teamwork right there.
Yep. That's what wives are for.
So I'm assuming you finished the rest of the party in your boxers until she got back?
No, I kept the shorts on.
No.
Why wouldn't I just be like, well, people can already see one of the boxer legs. Might as just well show them all. It's not like I pooped my pants or something. It's like I cannot stay in these.
Fine. Whatever.
I guess if I pooped my pants, I would have removed the boxers as well.
Josh, there's kids around.
Can you please just put something on? Going bottomless is not an option. Yeah. That was like last weekend. Feels like it was like 2 months ago. This week has been so long. Oh man. Do you remember we went to the movies this week?
Oh yeah, shit.
Right? Like at the beginning of the week. And it's like,
I drove here today. I was thinking, what are we talking about today? Oh
yeah, that movie we saw 4 days ago.
Life of working from home, man.
That's right. When you don't see the sun, all the days just extend to a never-ending night.
What a life.
It's like I live up in Alaska.
Got some news over there?
I do have some news. We have lots of stuff and lots of stuff we can talk about.
That's
like
good.
They're all like, oh, that's, I don't know. We'll just get to it. Netflix, Victor, as you know, is going to lose The Office and Friends at some point.
Finally.
Next year.
Good.
But it got the rights to Seinfeld.
Wait, it's already had Seinfeld, hasn't it?
No, I think it's on Hulu, maybe?
Maybe that's what I'm watching it on.
No, you wouldn't be watching it on Hulu because Hulu's American only right now.
What? Okay.
I don't know what it's on.
My roommate's been watching it, so I feel like maybe that's on DVD.
Oh,
whatever.
Okay. Anyway, they're getting it on 2021 or for 2021. So 2 years from now.
What? When are they losing The Office and Friends?
I think sometime between now and then.
Well, that's not helpful.
I'm sorry.
That's good news. I like Seinfeld.
Me too. And I think that will draw some people because I was kind of like with all the other streaming services that are coming out, especially Disney Plus, I was kind of like thinking like, maybe we'll get rid of Netflix. But Seinfeld has kind of made me go, maybe not. Like Seinfeld's one of those shows. Like I remember back when I would have like cable, Friends and Seinfeld, like anytime you're flipping through and you found an episode of one of those, you'd leave it on.
That's where you'd stop?
Yeah.
Mine was always Star Trek or some like animal related feature on Discovery. But then we just lost cable after I was 13.
You just lost it?
They were just like,
It's
no.
just like, Victor, have you seen the cable?
Well, we had some issues with I can't remember what our provider was called. It's an East Coast provider, but they're like, oh, for some reason it's not working. It's not working on your street. So you guys are going to have to wait like a month or so before we can fix it. And then my uncle canceled it and then we just never got it back. You doing math?
Yep. No. I am looking up the Suicide Squad cast that they announced. Because I just wrote Suicide Squad cast announced. It's like, I don't remember 13 people. Just give me a second while I look up James Gunn's tweet. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Okay, here we go. You ready? So, Victor, Suicide Squad 2.
Squad? Okay.
James Gunn, the writer-director, has announced the cast for the movie. Does not say who's playing what, but you can kind of guess some of them because they have been announced in the past. David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man. John Cena as something. I don't know.
Invisible Man.
Yes. Jai Courtney coming back as Captain Boomerang.
Makes
Joaquin Cosio. Nathan Fillion. Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Mei Ling Ning. Fluva Borg. Sean Gunn, obviously.
Makes sense.
Juan Diego Boto. Storm Reed playing Idris Elba's daughter.
Sure.
Pete Davidson. Taika Waititi. Alice Braga. Steve Agee as King Shark. Tanashi Kajisi. I'm sorry, all the Latino people that are in this movie. I can't pronounce your names. Also think that she's not Latino.
Pronounce her name wrong. Apologize to the wrong group. Nice.
Daniela Melchior. She's playing Ratcatcher. Peter Capaldi. Julia Ruiz. Jennifer Holland. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Idris Elba. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. And Michael Rooker. Some of those we knew about already. Some of those are new. Does any of that jump out at you, Victor. By the way, they have started filming, according to a news report 1 day ago.
Wait, I thought they've been filming for a while.
They have not.
No, I can't say any of them really jump out at me. But my memory of names is also really terrible. So
yeah, your memory in general is pretty terrible.
Shut up, Josh.
You like that scene in Men in Black when Will Smith is like, "Hey, the little dude said, oh, what did he say? What did he? Oh, you already did the flashy thing." That's me all the time. and you're the coroner.
That's a little rough, but yeah, that's accurate.
Anyway, I noticed there's a lot of Latino actors in there. I'm wondering if, like,
are you sure they're Latino?
I did look up all of them when they first announced it, like on Sunday or something like that. Yeah, and so there's a lot of Latino actors in there. Some of them are like, "Oh, it's that guy from that thing," but other ones are just like, "Never seen this person before in my life."
Good. I like when they do like new actors, new faces.
Yeah. But anyway, my theory is that like half of the movie will take place in some sort of Latino country or community, maybe.
Like Europe?
Yeah. Like Western Europe. Should we move on with some comic book news and then we'll get into some real life news?
Ooh, real life news.
There's apparently a rumor that Robert Downey Jr. would be returning for Black Widow.
Huh.
Presumably playing Tony Stark.
Oh, that makes sense. That'd be kind of cool. Oh, wait, Black Widow supposed to take place between Civil War and Infinity War?
Correct.
It'd be kind of cool if he was like the antagonist there.
It would have been after she betrayed him, right? And that scene where she's like, "Are you incapable of letting go of your ego for 1 second?" And then she's like, "See ya."
Bye.
And then you just don't see her for the rest of the movie. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because he'd be pretty ticked off at that point.
Everybody betray me. I'm Tony Stark.
What a story. Anyway. Yeah, I imagine it won't be huge. I think it'll just be like a 2-minute cameo. There's even like talk that is just like, because there was a trailer for it released for Comic-Con and Disney Expo D23.
Yeah.
And it was the scene that I was talking about from Civil War, but it wasn't quite that scene. It was like extended.
Gotcha.
So people are wondering whether that's what it's going to be. Is they're just going to use unused footage from Civil War?
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of lazy, but I dig it.
Do you have a problem with that though, considering like his character's dead?
Yeah, not really.
Neither do I. I only ask that because like some of the news outlets are like, just leave him alone. He said he was done. But okay.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's not like he's in there for a huge role.
No.
And plus, it's not like he's like 80 years old and he's retired and he just wants to like retire to his like house and stay there forever.
Yeah. Like it would be different if it was, you know, this took place after Endgame and they're like, we brought him back in a hologram, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't enjoy that as much. But at the same time, I don't know if I care.
Yeah, I guess you have to see how it's done.
Yeah.
That being said, are there any characters that are now dead or retired that you would like to see return in Phase 4 for a cameo or anything like that?
Honestly, I'd like to see Cap. Well, actually, no, I don't think I would like to see any of them come back. I'm fine with just keeping with the characters we have.
Honestly, I really thought Cap was going to show up at the end of Black Widow, just as like a stinger of just showing like she does this adventure and then she meets bearded Cap and they're like, let's go on the run together. We'll be secret Avengers for 6 years or whatever, however long it was.
We'll be nomads.
Yeah, that's right. We won't shave. And she's like, yeah, I'm down with that. I wouldn't mind Iron Man showing up in Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I'd be fine if that was. I wouldn't want him to, but I would like to see him as like I don't know, like a background, like an image of him, like he's like a target that they have to go after or something like that.
Yeah,
just something like just to show that it's connected to Iron Man. And I don't know if it matters, but
I would be fine with that. I'd want something like kind of like Spider-Man: Homecoming, but a little bit less time, maybe. Like even if he just shows up at the end and be like, hey, that was the one guy I couldn't catch. Way to go, Shang-Chi.
Wait, is that a prequel?
I don't know when it takes place.
Yeah, that's why we never hear about the Ten Rings after that.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool.
Shall we move on? You saw the Birds of Prey poster that was released this week?
I did.
What did you think of it?
Not a fan. I like it looks cool, but I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, you're just not looking forward to that movie in general, right?
Yeah. I mean, movie aside, it looks kind of cool, but like I just don't. The poses of the characters floating around Harley's head just look very photoshopped in.
Oh, okay.
Like they don't look like they're flying like the way they're supposed to be.
Oh, okay. You're saying from a design point of view, you don't like the poster.
Yeah.
Okay. Always the illustrator. I am nothing to it. I don't love it, don't hate it. It does confirm a lot of things that have been rumored.
That Black Mask doesn't have a mask.
Yeah, he's a little feminine in his outfit choice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, which I don't have a problem with the bad guy being that, but it's Black Mask, who is like kind of the stereotypical masculine gangster. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna punch you in your face and then let you sleep with the fishes.
Oh, like Hammerhead.
Yeah. Yeah, like Hammerhead. Like, imagine if Hammerhead was gay.
Yeah, I don't like when they make changes like that. I don't see the benefit.
And also, it's like, his name is Black Mask. If you're just gonna do a random gangster that's from the comics, do Falcone. Do what was the other one? Falcone.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're just pulling characters. It's like, oh, we need a bit of diversity here. Let's have this character be gay and this character be blah blah blah. Like, why?
Yeah. So there's that, and then none of the characters are wearing costumes that remotely resemble their comic book thing. Harley is big and huge in the poster. They're all little characters flying around her head, right? So it says to me that Harley is the main character and everyone else is just there.
Just to fill up the roster.
Yeah. Anyway, I just with the poster, I think I told you I'm like officially worried about this movie as far as like how much they're actually going to be going in their own direction for it. But
that's good.
Yeah. We'll see. Like, we still haven't really seen a trailer for it, which is kind of odd because it comes out in February.
Oh, yeah. Well, they still got that's like 5 months away.
They've only had the one teaser trailer, but it's not online. You have to go to a theater to see it, which we saw, by the way, this week. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just kind of like,
maybe they know they screwed up.
Maybe. I mean, I am excited for some of the other stuff DC's doing, but yeah, this one is kind of.
You think after like Aquaman with like the very like comic accurate costume, they'd be like, oh, fans do like it when we translate the comics into the movies.
Yeah.
But with this next one, screw it.
Yeah. So Victor, yesterday they officially stormed Area 51.
Oh, I saw some of that.
We talked about it when it was a popular meme. Yesterday was the day the event was scheduled to take place.
September 20th.
Yeah.
2019.
And what happened? A lot of people standing around.
Yeah. So if you didn't know about this, some guy made a Facebook group a couple months back called Storming Area 51, and a bunch of people signed up for it. The
tagline being, they can't shoot us all or something like that.
They can't stop all of us or something like that.
Stop us all.
But it's funny because I was like, so you give these guys a couple months to like, if they had anything, to move everything out.
Or just put their entire domestic army there.
There was a bunch of like news coverage there yesterday. And I think the best thing that's come out of it was like there's someone reporter, he's talking to the camera and there's some guy in the background. He's like Naruto run into and out of it. And then like there was footage of like people at the gate. There was like 75 people that showed up or something like that. And they're all just like dressed in like cosplay and like really ridiculous looking outfits.
It's like in Independence Day when everybody shows up to climb, I think it's the Seattle Tower, to stand at the top of it, to be right under the UFO. And they're all like dressed up and have their signs. It looked like that. Except for the aliens didn't come and shoot a giant laser beam down at them.
Ah, shame. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for more
death.
Not just more people to show up.
Yeah.
I think that Facebook group had like 10,000 people or something ridiculous in it.
Were you a member?
No.
No, neither was I.
I didn't want to be part of that.
No, me neither.
I'm already on enough like lists from the government.
Yeah. So as predicted, nothing happened. But it's still funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you want to talk about Trudeau and his blackface or no?
Sure.
It's an international story this week. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, they discovered photos of him from 2001, I think, where he's like decked out in full blackface.
Yeah, for like an Aladdin costume he did.
Which isn't even a black character. Like he's dressed up as the Disney version, which is like the whitest person of color in Disney history.
I don't know. It's the same thing with Kevin Hart. Like the tweets that pulled its tweets. Like that's from 18 years ago. I don't know. You're a completely different person from you were like 10 years ago. 18 years.
I should hope so. Yeah.
I can see why people put it as like, oh, hey, you did this thing. That was kind of crappy of you. But moving on.
Yeah.
Like what? You don't have crap in your life from like 10 years ago that you're
no kidding,
probably
right?
like embarrassed to show the world. I don't know.
This cancel culture is a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, God forbid you made a mistake when you were 15.
Yeah.
Like,
and like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he, like 18 years ago, I don't know how old he is, but like what? Just out of
I think
university?
he was early 20s, 18 years ago.
Yeah. Like, you're a dick. Shut up.
Yeah, it is kind of funny. And it's not surprising at all. It happened right. I think it's, the third week of the election campaign.
Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of news about it, especially on Facebook. Yeah, I found out a lot of my friends are butthurt about that.
Well, it's just like, I understand why it's upsetting to some people, but I completely agree with you where it's just like, if you did it last year, then that's something to talk about.
Even 5 years ago, I'd be like, all right, not cool.
Yeah.
5 years. I give it 5 years.
And just like, I mean, not that as an excuse, but like, I didn't understand that blackface was bad, 18 years ago. Mm-hmm. Granted, I was 11, but from what I remember, like that was not something, like people weren't quick to be like, that's racist.
Plus that was like a Halloween party. I'm assuming that was like him and a bunch of his friends.
Well, it was in a yearbook, I think, where the photo was taken from, because he was a teacher at the time. So it's not like he was at college, like living it up. Like
so he was old
teaching.
enough to know better, or he should have known better.
Probably.
So people are just assuming that he has the same mentality as he did 18 years ago.
Yeah. I was reading the transcript from his press conference of like him apologizing for it, like a true Canadian. Yeah. I think it's funny too, because like if it was an American who had done it, it would be something like, I truly apologize for what I've done. Yeah. But because he's Canadian, he's like, I'm sorry. I just love that's the word. But anyway, man, reporters just piss me off because it was like he gave an answer of why he thought it was okay at the time, that he's sorry about it now. He doesn't think it represents his mentality now or whatever, like the expected answer. And then the reporter is just like, yeah, but why did you do it? I just said, like, it's just like, yeah, but do you feel bad about it? I just said I feel sorry about it. And then like some of them were just really awful questions of just like, what are you going to tell your kids about it tonight?
Well, I'm assuming my kids, being educated in today's culture, probably figured out that was a stupid thing I did. Yeah. I don't know what it's. Yeah. Anyway.
So don't make any mistakes ever, especially if you're going to run for office.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's just extend that. Like, just don't make any mistakes ever.
Yeah. Or we'll cancel you.
Yeah. Eat a dick.
Watch it, Victor. 15 years from now, it's going to be like you were never allowed to say the word dick.
Oh, trust me, you don't have to take that far. Like, find some crap on it. He said what? When? Yesterday?
We have 45 episodes of content you can dig through. All the times Victor has screwed up.
It's the tip of the iceberg, people.
Said something wrong.
Only saving grace is you editing out some of it.
I only edit out the non-funny stuff.
If anything, that's the true crime right there.
Oh, man. Well, that's all I had for news this week, Victor.
Oh, yeah? That's it?
Yeah. Ooh. I thought we were going to discuss stuff for longer. Oh, wait. You know what? I do have one more. Did you hear about the guy from SNL? They announced him, and within 3 days, they fired him.
What?
So his name is Shane Gillis. Uh-huh. He was dropped from SNL because he said some racial slurs.
When?
I think it was in the last 5 years.
Oh, fuck. I was going to defend it, but I can't. Shit.
Yeah.
Was it bad? Like, did you see that they...
He was making fun of your people specifically.
Who gives a shit?
I just thought about it too. Like, I think it was last week we both did a Chinese accent. I'm sorry if anyone is offended by our shenanigans, but we obviously don't mean any offense.
Oh.
Well, Victor, maybe. What do I care? I'm never going to be going on SNL.
Not that attitude.
That's an awful sentiment. I'm never going to be on SNL, so I'm allowed to be a horrible person.
Well, I don't like to hide who I am. I live my best life, Josh.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do me.
I'm going to edit this out. So, okay, can I ask you, as a Chinese person,
Yes.
does the word chink upset you?
Depends on the context.
If someone just said it jokingly?
No.
No.
Like, you'd have to be assaulting me using that word for me to take it seriously.
Someone just glasses you in the back of the head with a beer bottle?
Yeah. Like, if it goes into like hate crime, then like, yeah, I'm offended.
Okay.
But if you're joking around, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
No, but that's you though.
Yeah. Again, that's me. I don't know.
I assume you know a lot of Chinese people.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like the ratio is, do you think a lot of your family and friends would be upset with that or no?
Oh, my family wouldn't care for sure. They wouldn't care.
No.
And again, I think it's the same. Like my family and I generally have pretty thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
So like we grew up in a very, very white town. Like my parents immigrated here from like Hong Kong. So any kind of like racial crap they've had to deal with, they've dealt with for like 30 years.
Okay. Did you actually deal with a lot of like hate crimes or anything like that? Not hate crimes, but like
racial speech and slurs. Yeah, all the way from pretty much all up till like grade 8.
Okay. Now, is it just like kids being like, you're different, I'm going to point that out in a funny way? Or is it like, I don't want you over here because you're Chinese?
More so the first one and then a little bit of the last one.
Really? Okay. Because it's just, I don't experience that. So honestly, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think I would have changed it. If I can go back in time and change that, I don't think I would.
No.
Because Bill's character.
Yeah.
That's a bad way.
Very thin ice right now.
That's a bad way to say it, but like I think it. Oh yeah, you can edit this out, but like I feel like it made me capable of handling way worse things today if had I not been exposed to that stuff. Because like the stuff that, yeah, it upset me, but like I don't think it was that damaging.
Mm-hmm.
So, granted, I'm sure there's people that experience it worse that would probably disagree.
So you're saying like the fire that burned you
may not have
good scars. I don't know. Made your skin thicker.
Yeah. That's how.
There's a metaphor in there somewhere.
That's how scars work, right? Right.
Yeah. Scars are harder to like cut after they've been formed.
Yeah.
Than your regular skin.
It, bullies.
Okay. Yeah. It's just I obviously never experienced that. You know. Anyway, that got as serious as Victor and I are going to get. Probably. We're incapable of seriousness. I can't even say the word.
Cheeriousness?
Yeah. Anyway, Victor, should we move on to our topic of the week?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Chapter 2.
Let's talk about it. Take it.
So this is chapter 2. It takes place almost right after. Well, it starts off in the same scene that ended at the end of chapter 1.
Right.
Where the kids are in the field. Should we just break down the plot? You want to break it down?
Sure. Okay. So if you saw the first one, it is a creature that preys on young children using fear. It likes to eat fear. This is going horribly already.
That's why I passed it to you, because I was like, I don't know.
Anyway, he completed his cycle at the end of the first one. And so his cycle is every 27 years. So this sequel is they're coming back as adults because they made an oath, a blood oath to each other. If he came back, they would come back as well to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
To kill it. And so they do that.
Yeah.
And that's the plot, really.
Yeah. The first chapter, they all kind of like went their different ways. I guess their families moved away.
Except for Mike, but yeah.
And I guess the further that they got, and the longer they were away from Derry, which is the town the first chapter took place in, they forgot what happened. They had like everything became really hazy.
Mm-hmm.
So the more time they spent in Derry as adults, things started to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Like I never read the book, but I like that because then it's like, imagine you had all the knowledge and you come back, you're just 100% prepared for fighting this thing.
Well, yeah,
wouldn't be nearly as fun. Well,
they also would have figured out how to beat it like immediately, because they just beat it the same way that they beat it in the first one. Hey, do you want to talk about the first one for a few minutes before we get into this one?
Yeah, sure.
So what did you think of It Chapter 1?
I loved it. I'm not a huge fan of horror.
Mm-hmm.
So movies like It, Silent Hill are like one of the few movies that I would actually put time into.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really liked it. I liked the actors they chose for the kids. I liked the guy they picked for Pennywise, which was
the other clown. Yeah.
Crap. Who's playing Pennywise?
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, he's great.
That's Stellan Skarsgård's son. Plays Selvig in the Marvel movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you are just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to actors.
His brother is Alexander Skarsgård, who was Tarzan in that Tarzan reboot.
All right, now
but also he was Meekus in Zoolander. He was one of Zoolander's friends who died in that freak gasoline fight accident.
Best scene in any movie. But yeah, no, I really like that. I like chapter 1. I was really looking forward to chapter 2. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, chapter 1 was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the clown didn't really scare me. None of the actual creatures he becomes scared me or anything like that, but it was creepy.
Yeah.
And that was really well done. And as you said, the kids were really well cast and well acted. And yeah, I watched it again before we watched chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't as scary as I remembered. No. But
you're not a fan of horror either, right?
Not really. And I'm kind of a wuss too.
Same.
I liked the first one. I wouldn't say it's like one of the must-sees of horror.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough knowledge of like horror movies to like say like, oh, this for sure.
It like the characters are just really likable. Like to me, it from what I have seen of horror, it does something that only good horror movies do, where they make you really care about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the horror elements kind of thrown on top. And then so when they're in peril, you actually care about the peril, and you're not just, celebrating that Jason's about to kill another horny teenager.
Want to talk about the actors they chose for the adult versions of the kids?
Sure, we can. Yeah, let's move back to chapter 2. I thought they were all casted incredibly well.
Yeah.
Like the adult actors really did a good job of capturing what the kids did in the first one, mm-hmm. and kind of expounding on that.
Like James McAvoy doing Bill's like speech impediment or his stutter.
Yeah. There was something about that, because I was trying to remember, does he have it in the first scene, like that we're introduced to him, like when he's on the film set and he's not in Derry?
No, but it definitely comes out more as he's more like.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, that was a cool effect.
Yeah, I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it's more of if he's like more nervous or like maybe just being back in Derry brought mm-hmm. it back, because you didn't really get it unless he was like, yeah. I think it was more in like stressful situations that he would have it.
Well, no, because like when he was trying to buy his bike back, he had like a really hard time saying something, right? Mm-hmm. And he actually was just like, frick, like, let's say this. Okay. What were we saying before that? Yeah. So like, I thought the guy who played Mike, he did a really good job of
Bill
like, no. The black guy, Isaiah Mustafa or something, the old Spice guy. Yeah. He did a really good job of like even getting the cadence of the kid's voice and the way he delivered lines. And the same guy who played Eddie, the, what do you call it? The hypochondriac kid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The germaphobe. He was good. These actors looked like grown-up versions of the kids, which is really cool. Yeah. I think Mike was the only one that I was kind of like questioning because he looked older than the rest of the guys there.
But he's been living in Derry the entire time.
You think it's just like the stress
and murder.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like the kid who played, or the guy who played Stanley, the Jewish kid
Mm-hmm.
who spoilers, dies at the beginning.
Yeah, he cuts his wrist in the bathtub.
He looked exactly like how that kid was going to look when he grew up. Like,
it's weird.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that first death.
No, that was dumb.
But I read into it. Apparently, he's like one of the only kids that's left Derry, but still remembered everything.
Oh, really?
So like he was so like I think it's because he got like I don't know. There's some people explaining it from the book. They're saying like because of whatever happened in chapter 1, he was able to remember everything. So that knowing that
because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah,
because as you said, the other people left and they forgot what had happened to them. So sorry. The reason why I think it's dumb is he kills himself at the beginning of the movie, and at the end of the movie, after everyone survives. Spoilers, they survive.
Well, most of them.
Most of them, yeah. They each get a suicide note from him, and it explains that he knew he was going to be so terrified that he would be a hindrance to them. So he just took himself off the board, quote unquote, and killed himself, which A, it doesn't make sense because they all forgot about it.
Yeah.
And B, just like he had a wife. I'm pretty sure he had kids. Like he was just that terrified.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I just found that a little unbelievable because I did read up on it too. And in the book, he killed himself because he was just so afraid of going back or something like that.
I mean,
not like
you live with it for 27 years, though. It's just like just sits in your mind for 20. I feel like you figure it out. That depends on your mentality.
I guess so. Plus, he's Jewish. He's probably neurotic, right? Just keep on swinging with the racism today. Yeah, Bill Hader was really great as Richie.
Richie, that's his name.
He was probably my favorite character in it. The guy who played Ben, who was the little fat kid and then grew up to be really hot.
Yeah.
He actually did look like the young guy who played him, but he kind of felt a little off to me, but it was very like subtle, and it was kind of like, it was different enough that I was like, yeah, but he grew up. Yeah. Because like the young kid in the first movie, he was always really nervous and not nervous like some of the other kids were, but like just kind of like more socially awkward and didn't really
just
quite know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was a little bit more mature. And
but like you could definitely tell, like like when characters are talking, like he's always in the background. He's never like the one to speak up first, anyways. Because I kind of like had that in mind when I went into this movie. Just the like how the characters acted compared to how they acted in chapter 1. Because I remember watching chapter 1 relatively recently, maybe last month or so. So like I think the amount of participation each kid had compared to what each adult had was pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah, I think Bill Hader's like Richie was a little bit more involved in this one than he was in the first one. But yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but yeah, Bill. I think Richie was Richie and who's the other kid? The hypochondria or the Eddie, and those are my favorite characters this time.
Yeah. It's funny because like James McAvoy plays Bill, who's kind of the leader. Jessica Chastain plays Beverly, and they're kind of like the most well-known actors out of all this group. Felt they were like the least like their other counterpart, like Jessica Chastain especially. Yeah, I didn't really feel Bev. You know what I mean? And McAvoy, he had a little bit of it, but like it was just more how that character was written. Like he was a little boring to me.
Yeah, I think he's like the character what's the character that's like supposed to be good at everything? What's that?
Mary Sue?
Yeah, like he kind of felt like that to me. Not really, not that he just felt like the character that was like generally good all around. He was able to like do whatever he needed to do. He never really had any like real challenges.
Just the standard hero character. Yeah.
Same with Beverly. But like I liked that Beverly ended up with someone that was also abusive, because she had an abusive dad, right?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
She didn't end up with him. Like you mean like in the 27 years she married another guy who was as abusive as her father was.
Yeah. I delved into psychology a little bit back in college. I remember like that being something that like not something that you like purposely move towards, but like it's something that echoes in your life. Some kind of trauma in your life. It echoes throughout. So it was kind of cool to see that. And like, pull that knowledge out of my head.
And the same thing with Eddie too. He married his mother.
Oh yeah.
Like literally, apparently it's the same actress who played his mom.
Really?
Was his wife. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just like one scene that she's in.
Yeah.
So
She's like
it's forgivable that you would miss it. Like, yeah, I liked all the characters, and that's probably the extent of me liking this movie.
Yeah, the movie was really long.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, I feel like they jumped around a lot, and like they had a lot of flashbacks to, I guess, 27 years before when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think it did need that. I don't know if I would have taken those out.
Not all of them. I would take a lot of them out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one of their jobs here to like get rid of Pennywise is that they had to go back and collect things that were important to them somehow.
Yeah.
And
important tokens in your life or something.
Yeah. And a lot of the places they went to, they didn't show in chapter 1. So they needed to show how they got them and the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, but yeah, my problem with a lot of the flashbacks is like the first movie, this movie is very repetitive because you have, was it 6 or 7 characters?
Yeah.
Who all get separated by themselves. And then they all have to deal with Pennywise by themselves before they come together at the end and defeat him together. And so, like, literally for a good chunk of the movie, it would be a character would go to a place and we'd have a flashback to them as a kid. Most of the time, Pennywise would show up as their kid, and then we'd go back to the present and Pennywise would show up there.
Yeah.
And then you'd go to another character and then rinse, wash, repeat.
No, I agree. Just that part definitely dragged on. Was it? I guess that'd be Act 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's just some things where like you just didn't. I mean, I guess that's what people are there for. Maybe not me. I was interested in the characters, but a lot of people are interested in seeing Scary Clown. And like I would take out 2 or 3 or 4 of like the Pennywise sequences.
Fair.
Like just like the Paul Bunyan thing with Richie when he's a little kid. Keep the scene before when he's playing Street Fighter and with the token and he's like, oh, maybe he's gay. And then he goes out and gets scared by a statue.
Yeah.
Take that out and then just
because that wasn't necessary. That didn't play into anything.
Or the one with Ben when he's like in school after hours and he's sitting with Bev and then her hair goes on fire and she chases him into the locker. It was just kind of like a routine scary scene. And like, I don't even watch horror. And I was just like every beat I was able to like, I was ahead of it. And it's just like, you don't need it. We already know that Ben likes her.
Going out of this, I wouldn't watch this movie back to back with chapter 1 because coming out of this movie, it feels like the characters went through the same development arc.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Bill has to come to terms with like, it wasn't his fault that his brother died, and like Richie got his balls together and like fought Pennywise because he's the first one that fights back, and it's the same in this movie too.
That's true. You're right. Yeah. I didn't. Oh, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Except I don't want to hear the same poem twice in a row. Because I think I'm glad I didn't watch chapter 1 right before going to see chapter 2, because then I feel like I'd be watching the same movie. Granted, this one's a little bit longer and like more developed, but I don't think that makes it a better movie.
No, it's not the better movie. Like hands down, the first one is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like the whole thing too, where they get to the cave at the end and they do their chud ceremony or whatever it was called. And then like the movie goes on for another 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Where like they're just in caves dealing with Pennywise again. Like they all separate and it's like, why are you doing? Just go back and fight him.
I like that they did the 3 doors again. Like it's scary, not scary at all, scary, and then very scary.
That was a good joke too. With the, I think because Richie makes a comment or whatever of just, I forget how it came up, but he said, well, can't we just believe him as whatever we want or something? Can't
like
we
a Chihuahua,
like a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian?
Pomeranian, that's it, yeah.
And then one of the doors he opens, it's a Pomeranian there, and they're like, "Oh shoot!"
Yeah, like I feel like any scene with Richie and Eddie, like I would have kept because the chemistry was just perfect.
Yeah, there was some weird, unnecessary stuff too, like weird, like tone. I don't know, like the stuff with Eddie, like some things very serious and supposed to be scary would happen, and then the movie itself would kind of make fun of it. Remember the part where like he's fighting the leper in the basement, and like the leper just starts vomiting black sludge in his face, and they just start playing Angel of the Morning. Like out of nowhere. Like it's not even like the movie thing of, you know, it was playing on the radio and then it just goes full blast or
like
something.
I can see why, because like that, and that's when Eddie figures it's like, oh, if I fight back, he's not as strong.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
it wasn't until later that he explained that.
Because I got that message before he like threw up in his face. Because like you can see Eddie's like, he's not struggling anymore. He's just choking the leper out. And he's like, oh, so like he's not struggling. That's kind of weird. And there's like a weird break where it's like, oh, you're kind of piecing it together. It's like, okay, maybe he's finally like pushing back. And then that happens. It's like, oh, that's weird. And then, but because that song playing, it feels, I don't know, maybe that's the intention behind that song. I don't know.
Okay.
I do agree. The song was unnecessary, but the vomit was unnecessary.
It took me out of the movie. The other one was when the bully came back and stabbed him in the face.
Oh yeah, just like right through the cheek.
And then he stabbed him back in the chest.
Well,
and then as he was leaving, he was just like, you should shave your mullet.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That just felt out of place to me.
That was a pretty cool scene though. Like, yeah, he gets stabbed in the face. He like backs up into the bathtub and he closes the curtain.
Yeah.
And the bully's like walking towards it and he just stabs him through the curtain. It was weird. Cause like, it just seems like he's not the kind of guy that would, it just seemed out of character for him to do that.
In like a good way though.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the opening scene?
Oh, the old little hate crime against gays?
Yeah.
That made me uncomfortable. It was a little brutal.
Yeah. I kind of thought that too, because like the bullies were so generic. And then I kind of reminded myself, although they don't really play it up in the movies, but I apparently like the lore is that like Pennywise has such a stranglehold on the town that like it affects everybody. Like, so everyone is nastier and like
just worse in general.
Yeah. But because it was just like so over the top with like all of a sudden like, hey, look at that. There's some gay people. Let's go make fun of them.
Yeah. Went from that to like, yep.
Let's just murder them.
Yeah. Just toss them over a bridge.
Yeah. There was like the boyfriend who was from out of town. He had a line. He played it up like it was going to be such a great comeback line, but it was just so dumb. Where he's just like, "Hey, Meg Ryan called. She wants her wig back." And you're like, "What?"
Is that what the city's teaching these folks these days?
He's like, "Yeah, got him." And then that's probably what happened was the bullies after that were just like, well, now we just got to kill him on principle. That was just dumb.
Why is everyone hating on Meg Ryan?
It's 2016. Meg Ryan has not been culturally important for a long time. That was a dated reference. And the joke's even older.
Oh.
Somebody called? Who says that? The 80s called. They want their joke back.
Oh.
Anyway, they were not hillbillies. I don't know why I'm having a hillbilly voice on it. They were all from Derry, which is in Maine, I think.
Like I was thinking about that scene after, and I was like, I don't know if that scene was necessary. But I guess it shows that like Pennywise is back.
Yeah.
And now he's apparently murdering adults too. I guess he's always murdered adults. You just never saw it in chapter 1.
Yeah, well, because his whole thing is he preys on fear.
Yeah.
And I imagine children are easier prey because they're more fearful.
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah. That being said, you want to talk about Pennywise in this movie?
I mean, I feel like he hasn't changed much since chapter 1.
No.
But like
he was less freaky.
Yeah. He kind of, I thought it was strange that like he like actually welcomed the kids coming back.
Yeah, I kind of saw it as like I don't think he's ever been beaten before. And so it was just like, oh, I'm so happy they're back. Like, I'm going to mess with these people. You know, like just so like the thought of his revenge was so delicious to him that he's like, oh, I'm going to toy with them. It's going to be great. I'm so excited about this.
At no point throughout the entire movie, he was like, huh, didn't they kick my ass last time?
Yeah. Better kill them before they remember how they did that. I never found him scary in this movie.
Yeah, I feel like I saw all the jump scares coming. Actually, the one thing that got me was when Beverly went to find her little thing, a little token. She went to her old house, and like the old lady that was there.
Yeah, it wasn't. I guess maybe because it was in the trailer, because I knew all the beats coming.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we had a really rowdy audience, so they laughed when the naked lady walked by instead of like.
That was part of that.
But like at that point too, because Bev was not the first. Well, maybe she was. I can't remember. Was she the first one?
No, I think Bill was.
Oh yeah. Well, so anyway,
Either
like
way.
at that point, you kind of have figured out how the director does scary scenes, where he kind of ups the creepiness a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, CGI character is going to chase him out of the room.
Yeah, but I don't know, it was something about that weird naked lady like running towards the screen, and then like I thought she was gonna be like just a typical human size, but then she's huge. It was just creepy. It was more creepy than anything.
Actually, the creepy one for me was the little girl into the bleachers.
Oh,
I guess it was more generic Pennywise scene, because it was very much like him enticing Georgie at the beginning of the first one.
Yeah,
where it's just like, just come a little closer. And I'm going to lie to you so you'll come in biting range. Yeah. So that one I found creepy, because you're just like, oh, this poor little girl. Like, she's so nice. And she's going to pay for it.
because she's an idiot.
Yeah.
Kids are idiots. I would have died for sure.
Yeah, I probably would have too. Too bad. Anyway, that one actually creeped me out, because he played it up, right? Because he's just like, I'm gonna blow that birthmark off your face. Just count to 3 and I'll do it. And then it was well played that it was like 1, 2. You were supposed to say, and then she just gets her head bitten off.
What a champ.
The other one that started out as creepy but then got comical was the glass house one with the other kid.
Oh, the one what they showed in the trailer, the maze.
Yeah, the one where Bill is trying to save the kid while Pennywise is like busting in to kill him.
That was cool.
It started out funny, but then like him hitting his head off the glass just lasted a little bit too long, where it was just like, now it's just funny, like him headbanging the glass.
Picturing like memes of him like headbang to like some really good metal. Yeah, the ending. I feel like the ending was exactly the same. Like well, obviously they have that ritual. It didn't really help.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just them like, oh, what if we're just not scared of him?
Oh,
this is familiar. And Pennywise, you see his face like, oh no.
You figured it out.
I've toyed with them too long.
I should have killed them.
Now they're calling me a clown. I don't get it. I don't see the connection.
Well, that was the thing, was so their whole plan was, because he turned into a giant, huge spider.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, why don't we just get out of here? Because we had to crawl through that small space to get in. Mm-hmm. So if we make him crawl through that small place, then it'll be easier to kill. And then he blocks the door or something like that. And they're like, there's more than one way to make someone small. Let's bully him. And they just bully him until he turns into a little baby.
Yeah.
And then they pull his heart out.
And as a group, all their hands together, crush his heart. That seemed unnecessary.
Yeah.
Imagine Mike's just like, he's about to do it, but then everyone just puts their hands like, oh, okay, we're doing this together, I guess.
By the power of clicks.
Actually, So Richie's the first one that starts to fight. He throws a rock, hits Pennywise in the head.
Right.
And
he gets hit by the deadlights. That was funny.
Yeah. He's about to deliver like yippee-ki-yay mother, and then he like gets basically stunned, and his body just goes limp, and it's so well done.
The typical Bill Hader, like knees buckle together and then like just limp with mouth agape.
Yeah. That was really well done. I was surprised. Yeah. But then Eddie comes in, and like he was given like, I don't know, like a piece of rhubarb or like a part of a fence. Looks like a spear.
Did you say rhubarb? Rebar.
Fuck.
I mean, rhubarb is poisonous if you eat the leaves.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's why you eat the stems.
Rebar. Okay.
Rebar. Yeah, it was a piece of fence.
Yeah, it was a piece of fence. And like because Beverly gives it to him before they go into the house. And it's like, oh, this kills monsters if you believe it.
Yeah.
And like he throws it through Pennywise's mouth. It's pretty cool. But then he gets impaled because
Someone's got to die.
yeah, I didn't like that he had his back to him for so long. It's like, all right, I get it. He's gonna die. He's so happy right now. There's no way he's living through it. I was a little sad he died, but makes sense.
Yeah.
Was there any characters you didn't like in this?
Characters I didn't like. The bully. Oh, what's his name?
Something Powers.
Will Bowers? No, that's the guy from Stranger Things. Henry Bowers?
Is it Bowers or Powers?
Maybe probably Powers. Yeah, I didn't like him. His inclusion was unnecessary.
Yeah, and his weird, like one of his weird friends from the first movie came back as a zombie as his driver.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, because you don't see that in any other part of the movie, but it is kind of neat because it shows like he's so far gone that he like seeing his old friend as a zombie, not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, his whole part was unnecessary. It was just they needed something to happen between scary clown scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And
it would have been cool if he was included earlier on in the movie and he was out hunting the kids.
Like outside of Derry?
No, just like as they got into Derry, like right once they split up. So maybe half the kids dealt with scary clown, half the kids dealt with weird bully mullet.
I don't understand like Pennywise's whole plan, like including him. Because his whole thing is like he likes to eat them for sustenance. He likes the fear. Maybe
it's just toying with these guys because they kicked his ass the first time around.
I guess so. Maybe it was like, we know that you're going to kill him, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like him. I liked the movie references in this, although some of them worked and some of them didn't.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Like I liked, there was that moment where they're in the house and Stanley's head comes out of the refrigerator and turns into the spider.
Yeah.
And it's very much from The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that. But then there was the part later where Bev was in like the bathroom stall and like people were like banging their heads against the door trying to get in. And one guy's like, "Here's Johnny."
Yeah.
I was like, that's a little bit too right on the bullseye. Like,
I liked it. Does Stephen King generally have bad endings for his books?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're making fun of.
Okay. Yeah, Bill's character, he's a writer, so he gets a lot of crap at the beginning of the movie about having his terrible endings for his books.
Even by Stephen King himself. Because he was the antiques dealer, right? Who said, "I don't like the endings."
He's like the new Stan Lee.
Yeah, a little bit. But he's been doing cameos in his stuff for a long time.
Oh. Well, okay, yeah, I guess these are reboots of his movies. So.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see chapter 1 and chapter 2 edited down into like a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah, that would be interesting, especially because I think in the book they go back and forth between timelines. It's not like first half of the book is kids, second half of the book is adults. I don't know. I've never read it, but that's to my understanding.
Have you seen the original movie?
Like the miniseries? No, I've never seen it.
Oh, it was a miniseries?
It was like a 2-night event on TV.
I'm curious how that would play out.
Okay.
Or how that compares.
Yeah. You have anything to say else about this movie?
Not really.
Did you like it? I guess we didn't really cover what you thought of it in general.
We didn't do our little non-spoiler review, but
no, we didn't. We just jumped right in.
No, I really like this movie. It definitely felt a little long. It reminded me of like Lord of the Rings with their like multiple endings.
Sort of, yeah.
But no, I really liked it. I liked the decisions they made on who died and who didn't. I liked how each character ended off the way they did. And my only complaint is that like maybe it just dragged on a bit too long. Yeah.
I didn't really like this movie. If you really loved the first movie and you want to see how it ends, naturally go see this. But like I'd say this movie is kind of skippable. Like for the same reasons you just said. It's really long. I found it exhausting because
it was.
you're like I wasn't afraid of Pennywise, but I was afraid of the jump scares. And so like stuff would be tense, but it's not because I'm like, oh no, Ben's going to get his head bitten off. It's like something's going to jump out at him probably in the next half minute or so. And then so you just kind of tense up for that.
Oh, okay.
So just after like 3 hours of that, you're just kind of like, whew, like, I'm tired of tensing up and then relaxing. And the stuff was really repetitive. There was a lot of scenes that I feel looking back, like weren't important. Could have been cut. There's no reason this should have been 3 hours long.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how it would look if it was cut down to like even 2 hours and 20 minutes.
The director was saying that like he wanted to put together a supercut of both movies and he wanted to film new scenes for it. you have so many useless scenes now.
I guess it's to like bridge the gap. So like if you were going to do a supercut, like there's a lot of scenes that could be overlapped, but there's nothing connecting them together. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so. Actually, one thing I did want to say, the flashbacks in this movie, they de-aged some of the kids. And I found it really noticeable.
Oh, I didn't notice it until like, I think one of the later scenes, like I'd say 3/4 of the way through the movie, there was a flashback with, I think, Richie. I think that's where I noticed it.
Well, yeah, because Finn Wolfhard is like 2 feet taller than what he was. And the same thing with the kid who played Ben. Because he was a tiny kid in the first one. And then this one, he's at least a foot taller. And because he's a foot taller, he's not as chunky.
Yeah.
But they de-aged his face, so they gave him the chunk of like the little 4-foot kid.
Yeah, because like, I don't know, like for the first 3/4 of the movie, I was like, oh wow, are these like shots from the movie, the first movie, and they just didn't use them, or they shot them knowing that they would be doing chapter 2? But yeah, I think at that point I was like, oh okay.
You know, like some of them looked relatively the same. Like Bill and Bev, they kind of looked the same. Stanley,
yeah, I think
he was
Stanley.
just like a little bit thicker. But the big ones were Richie and Ben, and Eddie. His voice has dropped like 3 octaves. So even with them doing some trickery with his voice, like it was really noticeable for me. But otherwise, I don't really have anything to say about this movie anymore.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. Were you happy we saw it, Victor?
Yes, very happy.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry you didn't like it as much as I did.
It's okay. It's also like our theater was really distracting.
Some asshole kept kicking back in my chair.
I don't think he was doing it on purpose, but yeah, I remember you turning around more than once.
Yeah, I turned down like 3 times.
Like I imagine in my head it was because he was just some dumb teenager. So I imagine it was like he was just kind of doing it like without thinking, and then.
Oh, it was like midway up my back. Like that's where I felt it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then never mind.
Yeah. But like I remember the first and second time I turned around, they both looked at me and they were like, you could tell they were like, oh shit. And the third time they were just like, they just made no eye contact. They just kept watching the movie, and I was like, all right. I kicked some ass.
The last time. They were waiting around after the.
That was them?
Yeah. I was like, man, am I gonna have to fight a teenager tonight over this? I was like, how am I gonna de-escalate this situation?
With your fist, Josh.
Yeah. I just needed to stand up. I was a big enough guy that they'd be like, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't fight 2 30-year-olds.
Well, I look like a child, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we just had a bunch of teenagers. Even in that indie theater that we were in, there was still a ton of teenagers who laughed at a lot of things that were not supposed to be laughed at. And
yeah, totally just the teenagers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of my technique of not being like freaked out by the movie. Although it turned out not necessary, but like it was to make fun of it. It was like, you can't be scared of it if you're making fun of it.
Yeah, exactly. Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, let's do it. Our review is turning into Return of the King with multiple wrap-ups.
Well, that was our review for It Chapter 2. Let us know what you think. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I should add. I feel like I always do these without thinking it through.
Yeah, but it's par for the course. Yeah. Which is a golf reference.
I don't think that's on par, but... But yeah, if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us at averageoninformed@gmail.com. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.